In the Tao Te Ching, Lao Tzu wrote, "To know that you do not know is highest. To not know but think you know is flawed. Only when one recognizes the fault as a fault can one be without fault. The sages are without fault, because they recognize the fault as a fault. That is why they are without fault." So if I understood that correctly, wisdom begins when we start seeing our own faults, our own foolishness. But here's the catch. How do we see our own foolishness when, by definition, we're blind to it? Let's explore that question through a dialogue between a monk and his student. Student: Teacher, how do I become wise? Monk: Wisdom lies in seeing your own foolishness. When you see your own foolishness as foolishness, you stop being a fool. Student: But how do I see my own foolishness? Monk: The same way you see anything, by looking at it. Student: It can't be that easy. I feel like I'm not seeing it. Why not? Monk: Do you know what foolishness looks like? Student: I guess a fool is someone who makes a lot of mistakes. Monk: And can you go through life without making a lot of mistakes? Student: Probably not. Monk: Then that definition won't help. Mistakes are normal. But if you see your mistakes as mistakes, you learn. You grow. That's what makes the difference. Student: So foolishness isn't just making mistakes, it's being blind to them? Monk: Exactly. Foolishness is repeating errors because you can't or won't see them. Student: So I'm blind to my own errors. That's the root of my foolishness. Monk: Yes. Student: Then why can't I see them? Monk: Try something. Hold your index finger out in front of your face. Focus on the lines. Now bring it closer. Notice how everything else becomes blurry. Notice how your field of vision narrows. If you were in a busy place, you'd miss what's happening around you, simply because you're so focused on that one finger. Student: I see that. Monk: That's how desire, ambition, and obsession work. The more you fixate on one thing, the less clearly you see everything else. Focus creates clarity in one area, but distortion in the rest. Student: So when I'm fixated, I become blind to everything else? Monk: Yes. And that includes your own errors. Student: So my desires make me blind to my mistakes? Monk: Exactly. Suppose you desperately want to believe that green apples don't exist. You'll dismiss every piece of evidence to the contrary. Your mind will twist reality to preserve your belief. Student: That makes sense. But what happens when desire fades? Monk: When desire drops away, you see more. Like rising above a city in a helicopter. You see the streets, the traffic, the entire layout. You gain perspective. Student: But don't I lose the details from that height? Monk: You do. But that broader view helps you decide where to focus again. You regain control over your attention. That's wisdom. Lao Tzu said the sages are without fault because they recognize faults as faults. The more we cling to desire, the more we distort what we see. We defend our ego. We justify our flaws. We blame others. And in doing so, we repeat the same errors, blindly. But when that fixation softens, when ambition, fear, or the need to be right loosens its grip, something shifts. We stop clinging to illusions. We see more clearly. And that clarity makes space for growth. Think of your strongest opinions. Are they protecting truth, or just your identity? Are you seeking what's right, or just trying to be right? These are hard questions. But asking them is the beginning of wisdom, because to see the fool in you is not to shame yourself. It's to awaken. It's to say, I could be wrong. I might be missing something. And that tiny crack of humility, that's where the light gets in. This isn't about being passive or abandoning ambition. It's about being honest enough to step back from your own mental noise and observe. Wisdom doesn't require perfection, just the courage to see clearly, and the humility to admit you don't always. So, if you want to become wise, start here. Let go of the need to always be right. Drop the finger from your field of view, and realize what you've been overlooking this entire time. Because real growth doesn't come from pretending you have all the answers. It comes from realizing where you've been blind and choosing to see anyway. If you found this video meaningful and interesting, Drop a comment below and share your experience. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might find this content useful. And as always, thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.